So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with some more FIFA 15 discussion. Today we're here to talk about the demo, which is coming out next week. Finally get our hands on the game itself, give it a bash and see what happens. And we're also going to talk about some early access that some of you may be interested in if you're not aware of it, if you have an Xbox One. We're also going to talk a little bit just about FIFA 15. This is the beta that was a closed beta. Some people were given the chance to play it. Unfortunately, I wasn't. This isn't my gameplay. I wasn't playing it. I can't really answer any of the questions about it, but this is something I found. I've edited the video down a little bit because it was a little bit long. It was around 20 or so minutes, and basically showing the best parts. There's penalties in there as well, so a chance to see the net physics in action. And I'm going to be talking about FIFA itself and the differences between basically the Gamescom build. Now, as we get into the game, you can see the bottom left-hand side. I wanted to put this in because there's a lot more options this year. There's park the bus, which you can do now, and then there's all the way up to ultra attacking, and then we have the same different options that we've seen the last few years. So now the options are just literally park the bus, sit back like a lot of teams do when they lead, and try and outplay your opponent that way. But anyway, before we get into talking about the game, let's talk about the early access that you could possibly get. Now, if you have an Xbox One and you also have an EA Access membership, which is basically $5 a month, or you can pay $30 a year, and it includes more than just the FIFA 15 demo, basically. You'll also get 10% off the digital version of the game. So you'll save, about £6 or $6, should I say. And there's also a couple of things you'll get. You can play old games as well. Battlefield 4, FIFA 14, Madden 25, Need for Speed Rivals. And you'll also get early access to FIFA 15. Now, there is a catch. You will only get 6 hours to play the game. So you can play a little bit of career mode if you want, because the full game will be unlocked. But you'll only get 6 hours to do so, and then you will have to wait till the release. So it's really up to you whether you just want to wait, or if you're that desperate to play it, the full game that is, then you can obviously purchase the Access Pass. Now, the demo itself, it is coming out next week on the 9th, and the teams that are going to be shown are pretty much the same that have been shown over the last few years. There's a couple of new additions, but the same team. So we have Borussia Dortmund, Barcelona, Man City, Boca Juniors, and Paris Saint-Germain. So a chance to play with those. And then there's also Chelsea, Liverpool, and Napoli in there. So, a nice variety of teams, which is good. But the question is, how long are we going to be able to play these matches for? Now, over the last few years, it's generally been about 3-minute halves, I think. Which, for me, is not long enough. I'm not very happy with them just giving us a couple of minutes to play. You can't tell anything from a 3-minute half or a 6-minute game. Now, let me know in the comments, what would you guys rather have? Would you rather have less teams and more time to play? Which, personally, I would. I'd rather have 4 teams. Barcelona, say Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain, and Napoli. And then we get 5-minute halves, 10-minute games. I can actually sit down then, enjoy the match, try it out, and really get to grips with the game. Or would you rather have more teams like we have, 8 to 10, and then you only get 3-minute halves? So let me know in the comments what you'd rather have. Because personally, obviously, I'd rather have more playing time. So the demo's out next week. The full game does release the 23rd in the US. And then I believe it's the 26th or 25th, not sure, in Europe. So I'll be playing it on the day. I'll be getting it on release date. Content will be out then. and probably going to be doing a career with Man United. I know a lot of people want to see Chelsea, and I've had a lot of different opinions on who wants to see what. Man City, Arsenal, some want to see Everton, Tottenham, but Man United, being the way they are this season, they've started off terribly, but you know, Louis van Gaal has brought in ridiculously good players. You know, Falcao was a shock, I think, for everyone to pick him up, especially with Van Persie being injured quite a lot. It will be interesting to see how Falcao does. And then he's also brought in Di Maria, Blint, Rojo, and a couple of other players. So I'd love to do one with Man United, try and get them back on top. But we'll generally see how everything pans out. Now, have a looking at this gameplay, which I said before isn't mine. The person playing, not really used to the shooting. He's smashing the ball over the bar an awful lot, and he's having a hard time of scoring. Now, this isn't particularly hard AI, I feel, because a lot of the times the defenders are just running out of the way, and it's pretty easy for him to get through on goal. But it does seem a lot slower than the Gamescom build, which is a good thing. I thought the Gamescom build was pretty fast. I don't know if that's just purely from the frame rate, the compression and everything, and most of it was off screen anyway. But this does look a nice pace. It's very much like FIFA 14. They probably haven't changed the speed much from last year on next gen because it played rather well, I thought. They've just tweaked the gameplay and enhanced it further. But something still hit and miss, and I talk about this a lot. It's nothing to do with the gameplay itself, but the player models on FIFA 15. Now, this is another thing here. This is what I'm talking about. The AI literally just parting for him, getting a free shot away. But the player models, some look good, no doubt, but some, it's almost like they've been working out religiously over the summer, and they've come back just absolutely stacked. Now, I'm not sure why EA thought this was a good idea, or maybe the way they were creating the players this year was only the way to do it. I mean, yes, I give them credit. They've made the players look more defined with muscles and body definition, but I work out myself, and I can tell when someone has been working out. You know, the big triceps, the big biceps, and if anyone's seen that Ricky Lambert picture that was shown, or image, he looks like an absolute tank. He's probably comparable to Arnold Schwarzenegger, to be honest with you. And this is a nice touch here. I like this. This has been added next fixture. Arsenal against Crystal Palace. So just little things like that, going off topic, but something like that, a big plus. Nice to see them using, you know, all the licenses they have this year on the Premier League. Now, we're going to get into the penalties in just a second, and we'll have a look at the net physics. But yeah, talking about the player models, I'm still not convinced on some of them. I still think a lot of work has to be done with them. The shoulders aren't as bad as last year, but still, as I said, the arms and the triceps and biceps, a little bit too explosive for my liking on some of the players. So both teams just getting ready. Sanya there stretching, playing against his former club. Aaron Ramsey stepping up here for the first one, which he decides to just smash to Caballero for an easy finish. But there Aguero, you can see his triceps, just too big for my liking there. Anyway, smashes that in. There's the net physics. Rather nice, you know, a nice little bit of movement. Hopefully it's not going to be like that in every single stadium, because, you know, some stadiums have different net physics than others, but they're looking a lot nicer than PES. PES doesn't seem to have any at the moment. I'm not sure if that was just a build, but I don't think they're really going to be tweaked that much. Konami have never really had the best physics on this generation. PS2, yes, it was better, but on PS3, hasn't really been great for them. So, one apiece here, another one smashing it off the post. Not the greatest penalties here. Alexis Sanchez looking to line one up. Just manages to slot it past the new City keeper. And obviously Ospina in goal for Arsenal. A lot of big changes from a lot of big clubs this season. And Theo Walcott stepping up, placing it down the middle. And we're going to talk in just a little bit about the celebration scenes as well. David Silva straight down the middle. Nicely done. Jack Wilshere. What can he do? Taking his time. A little bit on the old yellow side, but puts the keeper the wrong way. Vincent Kompany stepping up to take one. An unusual culprit. But he has to score. And he smashes it just wide. So Arsenal win the cup. But what I'm not convinced about here is the players just walking off like absolutely nothing's happened. So I'm wondering, is this going to be in the full game? If it is, it's rather strange why EA haven't made it an actual proper cutscene. But then wait a minute. Because if you have a look right now, after the players just seamlessly walking through the tunnel, Arsenal are now celebrating with the Community Shield. So that is a little bit weird. I don't know why EA make these awful cutscenes. It's just not on. It's not acceptable in this day and age. I mean, they've added the substitutes in the background, but like I said, walking off like they haven't even won it. Yes, it's only the Community Shield, but it still is a trophy, and they should be celebrating in one way or another. There's Cazorla looking way too big as well. I mean, Torre looks skinnier than Cazorla. Very unusual. But anyway, this is a nice little cutscene at the end. They've sort of made it into a highlight reel, showing all the action, all the goals. So, positives for FIFA, but there's also some negatives in there as well. Not necessarily on the gameplay front, just niggles that they don't seem to rectify year in, year out. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this quick video, having a look at the beta. All the demo footage will be coming next week, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what teams you want to see. Obviously, there's only going to be 8 of them, but which matches you'd like to see, and we will get that rolling. My full impressions will be next week. Between that and then Pez, obviously, is arriving the week after. So, a packed month, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it. But until next time, take care.